Meeting will come to order. We are now holding our preliminary budget hearing for 2015-16, held Thursday, September 10th, 2015 at 5:01 as per the statute of Florida. At this time, I would like to give the invocation, and the Pledge of Allegiance will be given by Vice Chairman Commissioner Bob Solari. If you would please rise and assume an attitude of prayer. Yes, sir. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity that we have to come before you today to conduct the public's business in an open and transparent fashion. We welcome those that come here today to speak to us about these issues. Please give us your guidance and knowledge and wisdom as we make decisions that will affect this community, not just for next year, but for years to come. In your heavenly name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Please join me in the pledge to the flag of America. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Solari. That moves us into the budget overview by the County Administrator, Mr. Joseph A. Baird. Mr. Baird, welcome.
Yes. In front of you, you've got the 2015-16 budget, which we're proposing at $279,999,908. That's $34,440,816 decrease from last year. As far as the overview, the tax will increase the general fund by 7.1% this year, MSDU by 7.07%, and the emergency service district is 7.38%. In this budget, we've increased our replacement schedule for capital equipment. We've also are opening a fire station 13, which will cost $1.8 million more. We've had health insurance increases. We're adding 32 positions under the board back, and then we're one under the constitutionals. Of the 32 positions, 21 are in emergency service district, and 17 of those are to open the new station. The building department has 2 new positions. Transportation has 3. General fund has 3. MSTU has 1, and we added 2 in utilities. We've also got salary increases included in this budget, and it comes to $1,818,000. During the hearings, we added certain areas. We added funding for travel for the Indian River Soil and Water, an ag extension agent, and the 211 hotline we increased, an additional mechanic in fire. Also, the ad valorem taxes, we're going to go over. The first one we're going to do is the general fund. And the general fund ad valorem tax is proposed at 3.3602. It's 6.5% above rollback, or 2.054. The proposed budget for the general fund is $77,523,210, or 1.9%. This includes 3 positions. I mentioned the ad valorem tax roll went up 7.1%. Includes increases in the constitutionals of $1,830,970, plus it included $1.1 million from fund balance for All Aboard Florida. Are there any questions?
Commissioners, any questions about the general fund? Okay. At this time, we'll move into the general fund, the proposed millage. As you see in front of you there, is there anybody here, I'll open it for public comments, that wishes to discuss the general fund? Seeing none, let the record show that ample opportunity to address this issue has been provided to all commissioners. Are there any changes to the proposed tentative budget?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, there there's one up here. Good afternoon.
Just as a name and number for the, or name
Oh,
and
okay.
address for the record.
It's been a long time since I've been up here. My name is Wanda Scott, 4306 26th Avenue, Gifford. What else you need?
That's all.
Oh.
Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Okay. I got a question on the general funding. I was trying to make some headway looking at it on the website last night on what is the grand total of the budget? I didn't hear that. I was a little late getting in here. What's
It's 77 million, $523,210.
$210?
And that's the general fund portion.
That's the general, okay.
The total budget's the $2,279,999,908.
Jesus Christ.
Well, no, he had nothing to do with it.
We may need him.
No, I was just saying, I can't even write that number so big. The question that I had in the general fund, because that's where I'm impacted the most in the Gifford community, and I was looking for, every year I come, and last year I missed it because you all had it earlier, but I was looking for numbers for our infrastructure, and I didn't see anything for Gifford.
We fund our infrastructure. We don't fund it out of the general fund. We fund it through impact fees and optional sales tax. And we've included everything in the Gifford front porch plan and the update we did. We've included that. We've got money in to do the beautification of 45th Street and all those improvements.
What part then would, if she wanted to speak about that, to address it at that time, that would be in the MSTU?
That would be in the special revenue funds.
Special revenue
Or in
fund?
capital funds.
Special revenue?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
w-
'cause-
And just real quick, just the special revenue, let's see,
That's
transportation.
on item 8 there
Item 8.
Item 8?
Item 8, yes.
on the agenda.
Not page 8, but item 8 over here, let's see.
Right there on the very last page where it says special approved non-ad valorem.
On
dollars.
page 505.
Yes, the very back page of the agenda.
Page 53?
No.
Here you go.
Yeah, I don't know.
Does she have
more
a
of the
copy
agenda
of
than
the
the packet.
handout?
Oh, it's in the agenda package?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Right, and it's the very last page.
And number 8, the first one there under 8A1 is the special revenue fund. Whenever we get to that would be that $20 million.
$20 million, and then is that everybody, or is that?
That's everybody. Yes, ma'am. That's everything. Just like you're wanting the work done in Gifford on some of the streets in there. That's where we have that budgeted. Just as if Jason, give him another example of some other items that would be underneath that in that $20 million.
Blank here, hold on. Street lighting districts are in there. We've got the tourist tax fund, impact fees, court facilities. There are about 20 different things in there.
See, most of our road improvements that we do come from from impact fees, and then they
Okay.
come from the optional sales tax, and that's pretty much where we fix roads and do projects like that. The general fund, for the most part, is basically salaries for county employees is where that general fund is. But special projects like that don't get funded by ad valorem tax dollars. And ad valorem tax dollars, of course, is your real estate taxes that you're talking about.
Okay, so out of the special revenue funds, let me make sure I understand you, that pretty much all of the blighted areas, or what areas?
Not just blighted, everything like that. I mean, basically the resurfacing, wherever we take the non-ad valorem dollars, so basically the gas tax, the 1 cent optional sales tax, that revenue, which is about $15 million, basically anything that's not associated with an ad valorem tax. We do not use ad valorem tax dollars to fix roads.
Okay. Well, my concern is that I, there's five, well, I mean, I don't really want to get into that. My concern is that our area, Gifford, is past poverty, 400%. Most of the people are 400% below the poverty level. That's economics. But our infrastructure, it's, I don't even have a word for it. And so I understand that, so the special revenue fund, it's a general fund, but there's nothing specifically
No,
for.
the special revenue fund is not a general fund. The general fund is a specific category, a specific account and the general fund does, in fact, use ad valorem dollars for its funding. The tax dollars come from the general fund. And the general fund, again, is mainly personnel salaries, and that's pretty much what it funds.
Okay, so I'm basically here to try to understand about our infrastructure, because that's where I live.
That's going to be under 8. Whenever we get to 8A1.
A1?
Yes,
okay.
ma'am. On that'd be the most appropriate time, because right now.
A1, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I can come back up. I just wanted
Absolutely. Yes,
to get an understanding, because
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll make a note to myself to make sure that I call for you on 8A1 so that doesn't slip past.
Right, so I can get a clarity of our infrastructure, and I'll be back up, and by that time I'll have some good questions.
That sounds
okay?
great. Thank you.
you.
And again, welcome. Anybody else that wants to speak on the general fund? Mr. Geiger, welcome. Please give your name and address for the record, if you would.
Good evening, Walt Geiger. I just don't understand why we have the Sebastian redevelopment district in here.
Well,
That's a good
Part
question.
of it, the unincorporated area, part of the district?
No, go ahead, Joe.
what that is, because they created what they call a CR, Community Redevelopment Agency district. And what happens is, any growth in the tax roll from the day they created it, we have to pay back to the redevelopment district. For instance, they created, let's say the values in their property were $2 million, now they're $3 million. That extra million, we have to pay what they would generate in taxes to the CRA.
So the county has to
Yes.
rebate?
Yes, we've got one for
tax.
Fellsmere, and we've got one for Sebastian. The county has
That's
to, once they create it.
Is that the same thing for Fellsmere?
Yes, Fellsmere and
Fellsmere,
Sebastian.
All the CRAs are that way. They come right out of our general fund, and it's a check we write back to that CRA.
Okay.
Thank you, Walter. Anybody else on the general fund? Seeing none, we'll move to the general fund. And is there any?
Chairman?
Yes,
Chairman?
Commissioner.
I'd be very
Go ahead, Commissioner.
happy to
Slark.
make a motion to adopt the tentative millage rate of 3.3602, which is 6.5% above the rollback rate of 3.1548.
Got a motion from Commissioner Solari
Second.
with a second from Commissioner Zork. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion passes unanimously. Next, that moves us to adopt the tentative budget.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir, Commissioner.
I'd
Fletcher.
like to make a motion to adopt the tentative budget of $77,523,210.
We've got a motion from Commissioner Fletcher with a second from Commissioner O'Brien. Is there any further discussion on the general fund? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion passes unanimously.
The
Okay,
next-
that moves us into the MSTU.
Yes, the MSTU, everyone who lives in the unincorporated area pays this tax. The proposed millage is the same as this year, and it's 1.0733 or 0.0575 or 5.7% above rollback. We've only got one new position here, and it's a senior planner. Transfers out are a big part of this budget. They increased $266,977, and they're to pay some of the sheriff and our transportation budget, our road and bridge. Franchise fees revenue decreased by $165,000, and that's basically the summary. The tax roll increased 7.1%.
Okay. Is there anybody from the public that wishes to discuss the MSTU, which is the Municipal Services Taxing Unit, and the budget on that? Welcome, Ms. Scott.
I got a question.
Okay.
Because that's the unincorporated area, and that's my biggest concern. Do I need to reintroduce
No,
myself?
ma'am, I think we've got that good.
Okay,
Is that
all
okay,
right.
Leona? Okay.
Okay. But my concern in the unincorporated area, so that's going to be is that an increase to repair or an increase for the tax? I just wanted to get clarity.
We kept the millage the same as last year, which was 1.0733.
Okay.
And the proposed budget's 26,624,870. That's a $632,525 increase, or 2.4% over last year.
Okay. I'm looking at the numbers. I was kind of confused too last night when I was trying to, because I know you all worked on this in July at the workshop, and I wasn't there. My greatest concern, and you'll hear me sort of beat a dead horse, is the Gifford community and the infrastructure. So MSDU dollars, which dollars besides that? I see pool, I see the road and bridge, I see shooting range, I see recreation, but I don't see infrastructure.
We don't pay for any infrastructure out of this budget. That's why you
Okay.
don't see it.
That
All
goes
right.
back to that number 8.
That goes to number 8. When we get to number 8, that's when the
Okay.
infrastructure will be addressed.
The same answer that we gave you for the general fund would apply for the MSTU. It would
Okay.
also apply for the emergency services, et cetera. I mean, we wouldn't pay for the infrastructure out of those funds. We have that special, the non-ad valorem assessments that we fund the infrastructure out of the special funds.
Now, I see something about road and bridge as of March 31st, 2015, $61,587. Is that like all of Indian River County or just the rural areas, or, I mean, what is that telling me?
We take some money and transfer it in the Road and Bridge Fund, and Road and Bridge does maintenance. It's mainly to pay for personnel, for traffic engineering, public works, and that's all in Transportation Fund.
Okay. Because that is one
We
of the...
transfer, even though the Transportation Fund isn't a taxation fund, I think around 76% of its revenue comes from transfers in from the general fund and the MSTU.
Okay. That is one of the concerns that I have in the Gifford area is road and bridge, and that's one of my projects that I've been working on right off of 29th or 28th Court and 29th Avenue, road and bridge, and I think I talked to a few of you all, but I'm just trying to see where the dollars that we paid into the infrastructure, whether it's for park, whether it's for road, where are our dollars to get our community back up? And that's why I'm here. That's my motive, my underlying objective is not just page number 8, but if we're over here talking about road and bridge, how does that apply to Gifford? And if it's not applied, how can we get our roads and bridges, our curbs, sidewalks, or whatever? How can we get those dollars to get our community back up? Is this for?
Once again, this is for the whole road and bridge operation, storm water, public works, and what do you call it? This is operating. Your infrastructure is going to be under item 8.
Okay, I got that. But road and bridge. So that was one of the things that I've been hanging around the county recently about 28th Court and 29th Avenue. What a mockery, a blotch job they did, and they wasted a lot of money, 12 particular times coming out to repair the area, and it's still inadequate. I did see improvements, but it's still hazardous. So I'm looking at these dollars, okay. My concern is that's a road and a bridge. It's a canal that was damaged by someone at Public Works. I'm concerned about those dollars, how we can get those dollars applied, not in that infrastructure, but not just that road and bridge, but most of our area. It looks decrepit.
Commissioner Solari?
Just in the bigger picture of Gifford in the coming year, I mean, clearly the county's not going to be able to do all of any area of the community in 1 year, but this year in Gifford specifically, there's a lot of work being done on 45th Avenue. 45th Street. And you can start with the Martin Luther King Park, which has just been totally renovated, really, is in that process. There's been a pedestrian walking trail put around it. The health department's putting up a pretty fancy gym set there, and there's going to be other amenities there, which should be complete by basically December or January. And my understanding is the actual beautification project on 45th has already begun, and that should be complete by December of this year. And because of that work that was being done, we accelerated a remilling of that portion of 45th Street from basically 43rd down to about this Gifford Middle School. And so that will be added to that part of the project. Jason may know what the total cost of that is. I know that in the park itself, between the different grants and the work from the health department, they're putting in well over $200,000. And I thought that the beautification program was about $450,000, but okay, it's about $450,000, and probably another $400,000 for the remilling of 45th. So you're talking about a substantial section of Gifford that's being, I would say, basically revitalized, and at least as far as the infrastructure, and certainly as in terms of any ratio of ad valorem dollars coming in from Gifford. I mean, they're all going back to Gifford in that project.
So $450,000 is allocated for that?
For the beautification, and another about $400,000 for the remilling, and over $200,000 all in all, not all out of this budget, but from different grants and monies from the health department, is going into the Martin Luther King Park.
So I got to get that clear, because I keep hearing the county owns all of that. It's no longer the Gifford community property, that it belongs to the county.
The park? Yes, the county owns the park, and that's why the county's basically been taking care of the park.
So they're putting money back into county-owned property, but not the infrastructure overall.
Well, the two other plans, the beautification project and the remilling, would be money into the infrastructure in Gifford. I personally would consider the money, the Martin Luther King Park, part of the infrastructure of Gifford. To me, that's something that makes the community better. And so I would consider the $200,000 plus that's been being put into the park would be part of adding to the infrastructure of Gifford.
Yeah, and it's wonderful. It's the back end, but when you come into Gifford, when you cross the railroad tracks, it's blighted, and it breeds crime. It breeds crime. It says crime.
As I said at the start, we're not going to be able to do everything that Gifford wants in 1 year, but we're certainly doing, in my view, more for Gifford in the coming year than we are for other similarly situated areas in the county.
Well, we haven't had anything, so if you do something, that's great. But and then the roads and bridge, okay, 43rd Street, which is the oldest business district, are we going to have access to the $61,000 to repair coming across the railroad track?
That $61,000 is for the salary for a road and bridge
salary.
employee, right?
That's what we've been saying, is you're asking for improvements out of the wrong fund.
Oh, because it said road and bridge.
Because we have employees in road and bridge.
Road and bridge employees.
And that's where the salary side comes in.
Okay.
And it's not even in the current budget.
So, well, let me just help me, because I haven't been here in a while. Okay, I just want to make sure the MSTU dollars, is there anything that I can look in here that, for our roads? If this not, I'll go sit down. Are these all salaries that,
None of your road work is in here.
like code enforcement, this is,
Code enforcement, that,
330, I'm just looking down the list.
Yeah, and that'd be salaries again.
Those are
we get
We
to
have
These
the-
all
employees- Yeah, we
salaries?
have employees in code enforcement.
All these are salaries. And then
salary and operating.
operating expenses.
operating expenses, okay. Help me out now, because, I haven't been here in a while. So the salary expense is going to come out of here, and then the actual road and stuff, that's going to come out of
That's back on number 8. Remember that where I said that? We're on
number 8?
8A1?
Okay, all right.
Yes,
So anything, that's my whole objective, is just trying to find where the money for Gifford, besides county-owned property, but infrastructure dollars and road. That's my whole objective. I'll be back. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Scott. Is there anybody else who wishes to speak on the MSTU, the proposed millage? Okay. I'll consider that open for the public comment. Is there, Commissioners, any changes to the tentative budget? Okay, I'll accept a motion to adopt the tentative millage.
Mr. Chairman, I'd be happy to make a motion to adopt the tentative millage rate for the MSTU of 1.0773, which is 5.7% above the rollback rate of 1.0158.
I think there's a little bit of error in that. It's going to be 1.0733.
Yes,
Okay,
thank you.
all right. And then I got a motion from Commissioner Flesher. And is there any discussion?
Second.
Did you say, okay, seeing no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion passes unanimously. Now, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the tentative budget.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Flesher.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt the tentative budget. The proposed budget is $26,624,870.
I'll second that. Is there any discussion? Anybody from the public? Seeing none, all those in favor of to adopt the tentative budget signify with aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion passes unanimously. That moves us into the transportation fund. And there's no millage here. And the proposed budget for the transportation fund is $14,310,369. Okay, is there anybody from the public that wishes to address anything on the transportation fund? Anybody? Okay. Seeing none, any changes, Commissioners, to the tentative budget? Then we'll move into, I'll accept the motion to adopt the tentative budget. Commissioners, what's your pleasure?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to adopt the tentative budget of $14,310,369.
Got a motion from Commissioner O'Brien with a second from Commissioner Solari to adopt the tentative budget of $14,310,369. If there's no further discussion, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion passes unanimously. That moves us to Emergency Services District.
Yes, the proposed millage for the Emergency Services District is 2.2551, which is 0.3846 above rollback, or 20.6%. The proposed budget itself is $32,183,194. The current budget is $31,810,466. This is a $372,728 increase. One of the reasons that this budget's going up so much is we're opening a fire station, so we need 17 people to man it. We also are adding 3 battalion chiefs and 1 mechanic. It also includes raises, and the union voted to ratify the COLA that we had suggested and the cap today. And we've got equipment replacement in the amount of $1,090,912 in this budget. And the new station will cost $1.8 million to operate.
Okay.
And
Yes.
Joe, the 3.5% COLA that was just recently accepted by the firefighters, that is included in the proposed budget of $32 million.
Yes, it is. The raises are all included in all the budgets.
All right. Any further discussion from the commission? Seeing none. Anybody from the public? Anybody from the public wish to speak about the Emergency Services District? Come on up, Walter. You might want to talk about this one if it's anything in indication in the past. Welcome.
I just hadn't read the budget and talked to Jason about it. I've seen that increase of 20% for benefits and 14% for salaries, but that doesn't mean that all of the firemen are getting these kind of benefits.
No, sir. That goes back to we're opening a new station, and I remember the last time we had something like this in the sheriff's budget. We opened the jail, and you look at it. It is expensive. It is. I'm not no halfways about it. But when you look at it, when you start talking about our ISO ratings and how that will start to affect everybody's countywide insurance rates, it's one of those decisions that it's cheaper in the long run.
Yeah, it's something in here called fireman supplemental compensation. I don't know what that's all about. Seems to me that firefighters are compensated substantially already. I don't know what supplemental.
Let Jason answer that. Go ahead, Jason.
I can address that. Those are certain incentive pays for certain certifications that some of the firefighters have, and we actually get reimbursed from the state for those dollars. So that's a no net cost to the county on those. So we have the expense, and then we get reimbursed by the state for those dollars.
It's additional certification and criteria that they get, and they get paid for that extra certification, and we get reimbursed by the state of Florida for those extra certifications.
Would those be tied into the special certifications for the nuke plant response in St. Louis, where some personnel have additional certifications for radiation or?
I'm not sure of the specific ones,
Right.
but it's things like that.
Things like
additional certifications that some of our employees have for providing services, and then we do get reimbursed by the state for those
So
dollars.
another way of saying it is it's simply incentives to get additional training to serve the people of Indian River County.
To a higher level of service, more
Scuba
higher trained
investigations.
Seems like you should go back to school and keep up the par without having to get special compensation. I know I had to go to school many times to increase my technical skills in school, and I never got paid extra for it.
Okay, thank you,
I think
Walter.
fire people are just spoiled.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, Commissioners, any changes to the tentative budget?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Commissioner Solari.
I'd just be very happy to make a motion to adopt the tentative millage rate of 2.2551, which is 20.6% above the rollback rate of 1.8702.
Second.
Got a motion for Commissioner Solari with a second for Commissioner Flesher. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay.
Mr. Chairman?
Motion passes unanimously. Commissioner Zork.
Well, every time, you're so
Pace
quick
yourself.
on the,
Pace yourself
on the
now.
draw. Well, I'll talk slow. No. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to adopt the tentative budget. The proposed budget is $32,183,194.
Second.
Got a motion for Commissioner Zork to approve the tentative budget with a second from Commissioner Solari. Is there anybody who wishes to speak? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion passes unanimously. That moves us on to the land acquisition bond. Mr. Baird.
Yes, this is for the debt service for the bond issue that we issued in 2004. A rollback does not apply. The millage is proposed at .3315, and the budget to meet the debt service, this was a general obligation voted by the public, $4,755,669.
Okay. Is there anybody from the public wishes to comment on this, on the land acquisition bonds from the 2004 referendum? Seeing none, any changes, Commissioners?
Mr. Chairman?
Commissioner Fletcher.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt the tentative millage of .3315, which rollback does not apply, and the proposed budget amount is $4,537,636.
All right, we'll take those separately, though?
Yes.
Okay. Got a motion just for the proposed millage rate of .3315. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, nay. Motion passes unanimously. Now, a motion to adopt the tentative budget.
Motion to, Mr. Chairman, motion to
Adopt the budget?
adopt the tentative budget of the amount of $4,537,636.
Got a motion for Commissioner Flesher, and I'll second that. Is there any further
Mr.
discussion?
Chairman,
Yes.
Jason, the figure on the screen is a little different than what
The
we're...
figure on the screen is the amount from last year. So the figure that Commissioner Fleischer read is the correct amount.
Okay.
I knew that.
Apologize for that.
I wasn't even looking on the screen, so, yeah. I can't look at two places at one time.
Well, that's good, because
No
the
further
viewers will
discussion?
be looking at the screen and wondering what we're doing.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion passes unanimously. Next, we'll go to the aggregate millage. Mr. Baird.
Yes, no one really pays this. It's benchmark that the state uses. The aggregate millage is 5.8001. The rollback aggregate millage is 5.2510. The aggregate millage, the benchmark, it's 10.5% or 0.5491 above rollback.
And Mr. Chairman, would you like a motion for that?
I would. I've got some quick questions. The 10%, the 10 mil cap, does that affect each one of these funds, like the general fund, the MSTU, or is that where you would plug it into the aggregate?
The two 10 mil caps, we have two 10 mils. One is just for the general fund.
Okay.
The other one is for all your other taxing districts, MSTU, emergency services. However, the GEO does not go into either of the caps, general obligation bonds.
General obligation, okay.
Bonds, because they are voted on by the public.
So they're outside of the 10
So
mil?
they're outside the 10 mil, but there's two 10 mil caps.
Okay,
So
so-
we're way off. General fund, we're at
3.3.
Yes, so we're way off. And the other one, when you add them all up, we're way off too. We're in the 3 area. So we're not like other counties where we're anywhere close to our cap.
Okay. All right.
Mr. Chairman, following up that same question, in comparison, Martin and St. Lucie County are at their 10 mil cap
They're pretty
relative to
close.
emergency services on some of their key service areas. I think St. Lucie's fire service district they can't tax any more money. They've got to look at how to streamline or make efficiencies or
Yeah,
something.
they
or lay
also was
people off.
disclosed in financial statements. That the auditor disclosed that they've got to be seriously concerned about being a going concern. Now, I think when we talk about another cap, emergency services district, when we had it voted in, has a 3.5 mil cap.
Ours does.
Yeah, that was ours did when the public voted it in.
Okay.
And so it has a cap of its own. That's because we took that to referendum.
What's St. Lucie's cap, do you know?
I
It's
think
greater.
I think they're at 3 mils.
3?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're right there.
Right, they're hitting the top.
In fact, they're going to have to cut, they said.
So now, Joe, when you say that we have our own cap of 3.5 in emergency services, but you said, does that mill cap count into the 10%, even though we're a long way away from it? Is that like since it's a voted referendum, is that like the land acquisition where you do not incorporate that into the 10 mil cap, or you do?
I think that's counted in towards the 10 mil.
It is.
It is.
For the,
On everything other than the general fund and the bond stuff. Okay. Thank you, Commissioner. I've always wanted to know that for 10 years. Okay, if there's no further,
Now you're leaving.
yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I'd be happy to make a motion for the aggregate, which, as the county administrator said, no one actually pays, of a proposed millage of 5.8001, which is 10.5% above the rollback rate of 5.2510.
Second.
Got a motion from Commissioner Solari with a second from Commissioner Fleischer. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion passes unanimously. Next, we have the Solid Waste Disposal District.
Yes, the solid waste disposal district this year is $13,137,435. The charges are all going up, and it's due to the mandate we have on recycling. The per residential waste generation unit is $64.13 per ton, which is $102.61 for a house. It's 1.6 tons per household. The commercial waste generation unit is $35.55. The readiness to use fee is $19.96. The per ton landfill ash product disposal fee is $19.31. And once again, the budget is $13,137,435.
Okay. Is there anybody from the public that wishes to address the Solid Waste Disposal District, the non-ad valorem Special Assessment District? Seeing none, Commissioners, any proposed changes? I'll entertain a motion to adopt the tentative budget of the non-ad valorem assessment rates for 2015-16.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to adopt the tentative non-ad valorem assessment rates of $64.13 per residential waste generation unit, $35.55 per commercial waste generation unit, the readiness to use fee of $19.96, and the landfill ash product disposal fee of $19.31 per ton.
Second.
Got a motion from Commissioner O'Brien to adopt the tentative non-ad valorem assessment rates for the solid waste disposal district as delineated in this motion, and a second from Commissioner Solari. Is there any further discussion from the board? Anybody from the public? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion passes unanimously.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Commissioner Zork.
Make a motion to adopt the tentative budget of $13,137,435.
Got a motion from Commissioner Zork to accept the tentative budget of $13,137,435.
Second.
Second from Commissioner Solari. Is there any further discussion from the board or the public? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion passes unanimously.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Commissioner
I'll
Solari.
make a motion for Commissioner Zork to read the streetlight districts.
Second. Third.
Passes by general consent.
Yes, this is to announce the 2015-16 proposed charge for each non-ad valorem assessment district. Vero Lake Estates MSBU, $50 per parcel acre. East Gifford Stormwater MSBU, $10 per parcel acre. Oceanside Street Paving MSBU, $415 per parcel acre. Street lighting districts, Gifford, $25 per parcel acre. Laurelwood, $30 per parcel acre. Rock Ridge, $8 per parcel acre. Vero Highlands, $33 per parcel acre. Porpoise Point, $11 per parcel acre. Laurel Court, $27 per parcel acre. Tierra Linda, $21 per parcel acre. Vero Shores, $19 per parcel acre. Exora Park, $17 per parcel acre. Royal Point Sienna, $32 per parcel acre. Roseland Road, $1 per parcel acre. Whispering Pines, $16 per parcel acre. Moorings, $10 per parcel acre. Walker's Glen, $22 per parcel acre. Glendale Lakes, $40 per parcel acre. Floridan Beach, $50 per parcel acre. West Wabasso, $21 per parcel acre. Oceanside, $57 per parcel acre. And
I'll correct it.
Oslo Park, $25.47 per parcel acre.
There's actually, thank you, Commissioner Zork.
Oh, yes.
There's three of them that were not per parcel acre, they were
They
lots.
were a lot.
Yes,
Yes,
the
sir.
Oceanside Street Paving MSBU, that's $415 per lot. And then the Oceanside subdivision at $57 per lot. And then Oslo Park is $25.47 per lot. Got a motion from Commissioner Zork. I will second that.
You don't want him to reread the whole
Read
thing?
them again?
No, we're good. We're good. I think.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes,
Comments from the public?
absolutely. Welcome, Ms. Scott.
I got a question because I pay the property tax, and I have the $25 property tax, and then I have a monthly bill from the, because I'm in the city, and I pay 19. I'm paying for streetlights twice. Is there any reason why?
You're in the city? If you're in the city,
Grid, but
I'm in that grid.
oh, you're paying the city electric. Okay, all right. So, and now what was your question?
I'm paying, on my property tax, I'm paying $25, and then I'm also paying monthly street light.
Electric. No, well, it should be, and I haven't seen your bill, but it should be For example, that street light that might be on your corner or of your, right there, that's where your $25 comes in for your, for annual,
MST.
for your assessment on that.
I'm paying for it twice.
Well, but that light, yeah, you're paying for it, but not twice. You're paying for that street light, and that street light's not tapped into your electric meter to where it's not coming through Vero Beach Electric and then going through your meter and then going up to that street light. That $25 annually, all year long, so $2 a month pays for that light, for the maintenance and all that up there.
What I'm saying is I get a bill just for the street light. I have, let me see, I have for the properties, the street light, I usually take about $1,500 a month for utilities for all the properties plus the street light.
She may have to check with the city, because somewhere along the line, you as the owner of the property or someone before you may have gone to the city and asked for a security light or some other light for that specific property, separate from the MSPU district. So I think the first step to do would actually be to check with the city to see exactly what that $19 charge is for.
Okay.
I mean, I know that next door to me,
Right.
My neighbor has an outdoor light where he did that deal with the city, and he pays a monthly charge for the electricity of that light on his bill.
Okay.
So that would be my suggestion as the first place to start for that.
All right, I'll check into that because well, anyway, I'll check into that. And then the other question I have on the stormwater, the MSBU, the $10 a month. We're paying $10 a month for.
No,
$10
$10 a year. So less than $1 a month.
So, okay, $10 a year
Yes, ma'am.
for.
And that's the only parcels near
for
the
what?
railroad track.
Right. It's the East Gifford. I don't know whether you're in that or not. That's the area around that retention pond.
There's about 20 or so parcels. I
Yeah.
think.
There's not a lot of parcels that pay this. You know where the retention pond is, next to 41st Street and the railroad tracks?
Yeah, but that benefits
East
Johns
Gifford.
Island.
Right. No,
It benefits,
Johns Island?
well, across the US #1, it doesn't benefit us.
Now, how-
So why we're still paying for that?
Well, it'd be hard for
I
it
don't know
go
how to
across
respond
the
to that
railroad
question.
tracks.
I don't know how that benefits.
It doesn't benefit them.
It doesn't benefit us.
The water it might not benefit you, but you wouldn't be inside this MSBU either. Where your store is and that kind of stuff, you're way far west of this. This is for that area that's kind of directly around that retention pond for the East Gifford area next to the railroad tracks in 41st.
So the retention pond, let me make sure I understand clear. So we pay $1 a month for a retention pond that benefits,
Is that $10 actually on your tax bill?
yes.
Was these- okay.
All of these, if it's listed there, I'm paying.
Okay.
I should have brought it with me because I pay the taxes.
I don't know that it wouldn't be on your store. I don't. What's your address again?
4306 26th Avenue.
Yeah, it could be.
So we would get the
26th.
commercial,
Yeah.
and then we would get the breakdown residential. So I'm
Right.
saying, so we're paying $1 a year or $1 a month for a retention pond that benefits.
Well, on this one, I hate to put you off, but I think the easiest thing to do is both the Public Works Department and the Utilities Department have clear maps which delineate the area that's subject
It'll
to
be
the
on the trim notice.
stormwater district fund.
It'll be on the trim notice.
No, well, but they're not the maps.
Well, no, but I mean, if it's on her address, and it'll be on her trim notice if she's a part of the
Yeah,
Gifford.
but if she
East
wants to
Gifford.
see the maps, to see exactly the area of Gifford, which is
Gotcha.
covered by
Gotcha.
the East Gifford Stormwater District.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, the maps will show you the area that it covers, and then you can see whether your property is in it. Because if your property is not in that area which is covered by it, then you shouldn't be paying the $10. If it is, it might answer that question.
Is that to prevent flooding of the streets? I mean, what is that for?
It's just to.
The residents asked for it. The
Residents' passport to?
I don't remember when. I wasn't here. Joe, help me. When did they impose the East Gifford?
That we were able to get some additional grant dollars in order to do that retention pond. We're also applying for a CDBG grant right now to do some additional improvements in that East Gifford stormwater area. And we plan to use about $18,000 from the East Gifford stormwater funds to leverage to get about $300,000 in CDBG funds, and we're also providing, I think, about 170 or 180,000 of sales, optional sales tax towards that grant as well.
But that complicates things for Mr. Scott right now. I mean, do we have any ability to just look historically of where the original request for that was?
If you would, yeah, we can do that, and I can get all that information.
That would be the easiest thing to find.
I'll have Chris give it to you, and we'll get you maps and everything tomorrow.
But my understanding is that there were worse flooding problems in that area historically, and the residents, some of the residents from that area asked for some help, and this was part of that solution. I understand you're shaking your head, ma'am, but that was just my understanding.
I do want to, because I take a lot of pictures of Gifford, and if we, right now, like we've had rain a couple of days, we had the Erica that was downgraded, but we had a lot of storms off of that, and our streets are flooded, so it's not benefiting us. Who is it benefiting? Right now we have a mosquito nightmare, and I think I saw somewhere where the mosquito district was receiving funding, but it's a mosquito nightmare. You can barely go outside. Mosquitoes are just...
You better contact the mosquito district. It's a separate board. It doesn't fall under the commission, Board of County Commissioners. It's a separate elected board, and I'll have Chris get you that information too.
I'm not saying that I want to get in. I'm saying that it's a nightmare because of the pond. How does it benefit us? Because we have flooding when it rains. So how is the stormwater? It's benefiting. We're paying $1 a month for something to benefit us.
Yes.
How is it benefiting us?
It has. It benefits you, and because it takes the stormwater runoff that was backing up when it got to the railroad and coming back. So what we've done is we put a pond in, and so that you don't have the flooding that you had in the past.
We still have the flooding.
Yeah,
you want to see pictures?
Well, after rains all over the county, it depends. Heavy rains, roadways do get flooded for a short term, and they should go down right away.
No, we have
All of the
flooding
county.
during, after, and it's a nightmare now that we're in rainy season. So I'm just trying to figure out if we're paying money, because we could use this money to put in some drainage, which is what we really need, and some curbings and different things that really would improve our community. There's no, I mean, who's monitoring that to say that that's effective, efficient, and effective? Who's monitoring that? Commissioner Fletcher?
Well, it is engineered to reduce the amount of, or the possibility of flooding. I want you to know, ironically, just a couple of hours before this meeting, I did drive through Gifford and spent some time there, and I do not see evidence of flooding, and it rained torrentially today as well.
Not in
So
Gifford.
it does reduce.
today.
No, I pitched block. It does pool as it does in every other community, and it now has receded. There is no flooding in your area.
Not today.
And it has not been a horrific mosquito situation.
Yes.
Atypically, a few days after a heavy rain where water has been allowed to pool, you will begin to see the onset of a concern for mosquitoes. And that is why we have addressed the tire situation in the community. We have addressed many of the pooling conditions. Unfortunately, we cannot address a pond that's designed for your runoff.
Okay, but the point I want to make is at a later time, we need to look at who's monitoring the efficiency and the effectiveness of these operations that are put into Gifford. I'm saying as a resident, it is not benefiting Gifford. And you're saying, well, it's this and it's that.
That's an opinion, but no, it's fact that the water
Okay.
is being removed from the property area, the residential area, from the commercial area, and then being collected into the pond. That's fact. That's not an opinion.
I keep a photo journal, and I'm going to be here real soon so that you can see what I'm talking about. And my concern is that a lot of things, or the few things that are put into Gifford, they're not working. Who's monitoring it? I monitor it by photojournal, because it's not enough what I say, but a picture's worth 1,000. So I'm not going to get into, I'm just letting you know. Eventually, I'm going to send you a bill because I'm out monitoring the work, the progress that's not happening. I know you had an expectation for certain things to happen. They're not happening. So I'm going to keep a photojournal, and we can email or do a slide presentation, because our community looks a wreck. And there's no reason why our community, whether we're paying $1 for the stormwater drain that's not helping us, if it's not helping us, then get us something else like proper drainage. The Pineview area, you almost have to have a boat to travel down that road. And when I was a little girl, which was 40-something years ago, well, 40 plus, I used to have to almost with the boat to get from 45th Street down, I guess, what is that road, 40th Avenue? 40th Avenue. And it's still today, 2015. We need drainage. We need pipings. We need, so that water, that's not doing a thing for us. It's just a mosquito nightmare. So if you have somebody to come in and monitor out, I have time, I'm retired. I'm happy to go with you through the community and see some of those things. I'm available. You have my telephone number. And I have photos to back up what I'm saying.
And Ms. Scott, there's many people out there that go throughout their community, and I'm sure all of us receive phone calls when we have substantial rains that there is temporary pooling, and each and every one of us, I know, contact Chris Mora. Chris Mora does send people out or goes out personally, and sometimes there needs to be an adjustment on the drainage control that you have for the mechanism to remove the water pooling from your area. And most certainly, anytime you have that type of situation, if you call, we will be there. As a matter of fact, Mr. Morris sends out the crews and throughout the county after torrential rain to see if there's any hot spots. Again, we're talking about soil, we're talking about movement and water, that they do need our assistance when the forces of nature do move them. They sometimes have to be moved back a little bit. And most certainly we're happy to do that. So you just call if you have a pooling condition, and I assure you that it will be addressed.
I have a hot spot right now. I already mentioned 28th Court to 29th, the grass that they put out along the embankment, the sod, it's already eroding, and I was able to tape 12 inches. I took my measuring, and I actually fell down into the where the embankment was eroding 9 inches from the road, and that was Labor Day. That was Monday. So no one's monitoring what they say. They're telling you one thing. I'm in the community, and I'm photographing, and I'm out there because I'm concerned our community looks a wreck. It looks poverty. Poverty breeds law enforcement, and we want that to change. We want that to flip. We want that. We want a community just like your community. And if this is not working, let's get us something that can help drain off that water and the mosquitoes and so forth. That's all I'm asking.
Well, Ms. Scott, you're talking about the frontage of your property, correct?
Excuse me?
The frontage of your property?
No, I'm talking about 28th Court and 29th Avenue. I've come by and I've put a bug in a couple of 43rd Streets.
It's outside your business, correct?
No. We're close to Richardson's, what is his church name? Macedonia. Richardson, Pastor Richardson's church. That side road, it's a heavily trafficked road. And if someone just go off the embankment just a little bit, they're going to flip. or hydroplane. And I'm monitoring that because I just seen such, sad workmanship. And I'm sure we spent quite a few dollars because it's 12 times they've repaired it. And it's still not up to par. It's adequate at its best. Not safe, there's no safety features. But I'm not going to hold us up on that. I just wanted to share with you that the storm drain or the storm water, East Gifford, it's not working. Or if it is for us, it's not efficient, nor is it effective.
Thank you. I believe we had a motion on the MSBU and street lighting districts. Is that correct, Dylan? Is that where?
Commissioner Zorn, second by you.
I just want to make sure that that's where we were. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion passes unanimously. Next, we move to the non-ad valorem dollar projects. Mr. Baird.
Yes, the special revenue funds is $20,869,607. Other debt service funds, $988,000. Capital project funds, $18,590,679. Enterprise funds, $45,098,027. Internal service funds, $26,136,881.
Okay. All right. Is there any comments from the public? Ms. Scott, this is where you've been, this is what I think you wanted to speak about all evening. Well, this is the most probably appropriate place for you to speak about the things you wanted to speak about all evening.
Good thing is my pain pill done wore off, and so I won't be up here long. This is page 505.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Just help me to understand, and then
What's your question, and then that way we can help you understand if you had the specific question.
What I'm looking for, just like I saw in the budget, I'm not familiar, but the name just kind of, what is that? Hang on. Just a moment. When I was walking in the door, and it was under the general fund,
Okay, if you go back to the general fund,
no, I know we're not, but buzz thing that.
I thought you said general fund there and flipped back 3 pages, and that's putting us back to the general fund. That's.
Okay, they have, one of the things that I'm looking for, I see, and I'm making a comparison, yet I don't know. The Sebastian Redevelopment District, that's one thing. I'm looking to see something on this budget because we pay so many taxes yearly. You probably have a number. 18, what we paid from Gifford. And I'm looking to see that where is it somewhere on here that says these funds are going to Gifford to repair, not when I come and then I hear, oh, we don't have any funds, we got to find this. And I'm saying, my goodness, we pay taxes every year. And when we don't pay taxes, then there's a lien on our property. And if we don't satisfy that, then we lose our property. So we do this every year faithfully, and those who don't, they're at a loss. I want to see something on here, not us in just a general fund, but there's money allocated for the Gifford District to repair the infrastructure. And if this is the money, how much of that money are we appropriately entitled to of that money?
Why don't I just tell you some of the projects that are in this year's budget that are inside this part of it, Jason?
Okay, so the largest project is the 45th Street beautification. In the current year budget, we have $800,000 budgeted for that beautification project. It's going to be about a $1.2 million project altogether, so there's another $400,000 in next year's budget, in this budget that we're adopting today, in the gas tax fund 109. We also have committed to numerous improvements at the Martin Luther King Park, as Commissioner Solari spoke about before, over $200,000 worth of improvements for the walking trail, playground, and associated improvements in that area. We have a system where we track all of the improvements from the Gifford Neighborhood Plan. As you'll recall, when that was adopted, we said there's going to be a report card at the end of each year. I think that's December or January. We'll come back with a report card. I think we've been doing a bunch of extra things that were not in that Gifford Neighborhood Plan. The MLK Park, that's a project that has grown and grown and grown. We've seen some additional things happening there that were not contemplated.
One
there.
of them that I can think of, I think, is the Little League improvements.
Yes, we did a Little League. We also did a multi-purpose field. We put in a multi-purpose field and the canopies and things like that. We've done.
Yeah, there was about $500,000 worth of field improvements at Gifford Park in the last year. And we continue to make improvements at the budget workshop, which Mrs. Scott wasn't here. There was a discussion about the awning on the playground at the Gifford Park. We've done a budget amendment. We did a budget amendment to fund that with some help from the health department also. And we're also putting some of the long-lasting mulch there. There was a group of folks that came and had concerns. There's a sand area there. What we're doing from within the current budget is getting the rubberized mulch there and putting that in to provide a better surface area there. So there's many improvements that are ongoing and moving forward in the budget.
Is there a way, because I hear a reoccurring theme that for example, you say you pay, I don't know, $1,500 in taxes. And the rule of thumb that I've seen on somebody's ad valorem tax, if you pay $1,500 worth of taxes, half of that automatically goes to the school board. The other half of that goes to other entities like the hospital district, mosquito control district, the Anywhere Farms, et cetera. 25% of what she pays comes to the actual county. And then of that, that winds up being broken down into our different jurisdictions as far as our emergency services and those other kind of things that everybody pays for, the ambulance, fire safety, and all that. I guess really, whenever you take out the 25% of the Gifford Community's tax bill that actually comes to this board, and then you take and separate out the bond referendums, the emergency services, the MSBUs, and ultimately get down to it at the end of the day. I guess really what she's asking for is if there's $1 million that's generated in there, is there $1 million going back into the community? Is there a way that we can quantify that? We
did at one point. Jason sent the information. It was, who had asked for that? That was
Althea McKenzie.
Althea McKenzie had asked. We quantified it. We don't have it here with us, but we quantified it and put it in writing.
Okay.
And Jason did a wonderful job on that.
You were here as well.
And the amount of money that actually goes into the Gifford community is certainly more than actually comes out of it. And
really?
Yeah.
And that's what I think she's asking.
Yeah. I mean, and we can ask Jason at the end of the day to maybe update it. But a lot of things that are in this budget are monies that come out of the county budget that go into different places don't necessarily seem to directly support the Gifford community, but there are things like we make a contribution each year to the Go Line bus. And the Go Line bus provides tremendous, I think, tremendous transportation services to the Gifford community. And so to that extent, some of those monies that the county puts into the Go Line service serves Gifford. I mean, it serves the entire county, but Gifford is well served by that service. And so when you take into account a lot of those type of projects, it's hard to say that, they go in, like the 45th Street beautification project, we can point to one project and say there's $450,000 or there's $800,000. But to allocate that portion of the Go Line dollars that service Gifford is a more difficult exercise, but I think Gifford is a significant beneficiary of that service. So, and there are lots of services like that.
Okay, that's one area, and they do utilize, because we have a lot of walkers, a lot of people ride bikes, a lot of people without automobiles. I'm talking the infrastructure. Now, I've heard a lot of stuff at the back end of Gifford by 43rd Street by the park. What about the front end of Gifford? When you come across the track, right when you get by Garage, you come across the track, 45th Street, 43rd Street, I know you're repairing 45th, but 43rd Street is the oldest business district. 54 years, one store. I'm not going to name the name of the store, but it's been on that corner. We've been there just as long as the school, and we pay commercial taxes. I'm looking for our area to be the infrastructure, roads, street curbings, drainage, all those things that go with a community. I don't like the neighborhood, pre-planned development. Those are hoods to fail. I'm looking for a community, a safe and viable community. And when we make the sacrifices to pay all these taxes, and I say sacrifices because most people do, mainly because of economics. There's not a lot of, people making $100,000. You maybe can count the people on 2 fingers or 2 hands, the people that are making $100,000 in Gifford. And then the rest are 400% below the poverty level. Well, maybe it doesn't matter to you, but it does to me, because those are my customers. That's how we make dollars. That's how we put money back into the community, but it's getting harder and harder. Our community needs to be brought up. Just like Martin Luther King Park or MLK, out there by 40, the park, that's great, but that's not the infrastructure. That's the back end of Gifford. We're talking about the front end of Gifford. We want our place up to par and revitalize, kind of like Avenue D. I think there's a couple of you are on the Avenue D commission. We want our community revitalized. There's no reason why our community can't be revitalized. So I'm looking to see, of those dollars, of that 20 million, how much of that can we get our area revitalized? And you're saying, well, oh yeah, we use this much, 450,000, that's more. But I'm saying overall, we've been getting the short end of the stick. I've lived here a long time. Retired Navy, 15 years retired. And I'm tired. I'm tired of seeing our community in poverty with the amount of tax. We do pay a nice, hefty roll for a wooden structure and kind of a beat-up neighborhood. I even dream of having a tax break on our property tax. We know that's not going to happen. But what I'm looking for, is there any way we can have some dollars designated just for Gifford to get Gifford prepared up to par? Right now, because it's in such a state of destitute, poverty, blightedness, it generates, high unemployment, high dropout rate, high dilapidated homes, high substance abuse, and then it keeps Sheriff Lohr gainfully employed. I know he's gone, but it keeps him gainfully employed. That's not what we want. We want a safe and viable community because we pay the tax dollars. I'm not asking, I'm saying we pay the tax dollars and we put them in here every year. And I pay the commercial tax dollars plus residential. Can we get some money designated to get our community, or some grant dollars, or just hold up those dollars and say, hey, we're going to fix this place up, bring it up to par, redevelop this district. This area needs redeveloping. Sebastian is beautiful. Our area looks bad. And it's not that we're not paying taxes, and it's not that we're paying small taxes. We're paying big taxes for those little rundown wooden structure. Forgive me for leaning, my back is killing me. But that's what I'm looking for. That's my overall objective here. I mean, just reason with me. Am I unreasonable? Am I unreasonable to want something like that?
I don't think you're unreasonable, but I think that it's in the budget, and we've explained where it is in the budget for you, and that you're certainly getting your fair share. And in addition to the projects on 45th Street that have taken place and the other ones that the chairman mentioned, we've got the Gifford Neighborhood Plan that goes out about 5 or 6 years. And this board has been committed to make sure that that we go step by step through the Gifford Neighborhood Plan, which includes a lot of what I believe are the infrastructure projects that you're talking about. So it's not going to happen in 1 year, but I think that from where Gifford was in 2014 to where Gifford's going to be in 2020, there's going to be a substantial difference. And I understand that a lot of areas of Gifford aren't going to be brought up by the 45th Street beautification project and the work in the Martin Luther King Park, but certainly that section of Gifford is going to notice a significant improvement. And when we have the Martin Luther King Day Parade next January, going by 45th Street, I think people are going to be amazed at what they saw last year and or early in January 2015 and what they see in January 2016. And I think in a half a dozen other areas, including just a simple thing like the culvert which we extended at the new Family Dollar store and the additional work we've done up at the Gifford Park, I think that we've shown a commitment to Gifford over the last years, which is real, significant, and ongoing.
And listen, I do agree that those things are going to, and it does fortify mostly county property, which is the ball field. Everything benefits mostly, but I'm saying the heart, the front end of the area of Gifford is not, and close to Garot's company, it's not. It's. I'm embarrassed when people come to Gifford. I say, I'll meet you at IHOP because my infrastructure looks really bad. And being that we're the oldest business district, where the redevelopment dollars. We've proven ourselves 54 years in a blighted condition. I'm just saying that redevelopment in our area is also just as significant, and that's what I'm looking for, 43rd Street to be brought up. The school is great, the park is great, but we need the area where the people, mingles, people live, people thrive, or trying to thrive. It's hard to thrive when the economics are so low or they're economically disadvantage. And that's the other thing on the Gifford Neighborhood Plan is economic dollars. And that's something, of the 10 people that Garrard hired, most of them lived everywhere else. So we really haven't seen that economic boost that we can eliminate dilapidated homes, high unemployment, keeping the kids in school, eliminating substance abuse, and then reducing mass incarceration. Right now, it's on the high. We want to bring it down low. The infrastructure is what is at stake. That's why I'm up here. But I'm going to be back in your faces, limping with the cane, whatever, until we get some kind of way. We pay taxes.
Mr. Chairman, as Juana's going back to her seat, Jason, could we have like a little sheet on Gifford improvements, revenue side, and something we would maybe maintain on an ongoing basis because the questions do come up, and to have somebody try to go through the budget and figure out all the projects is a little bit cumbersome, but maybe just a short summary sheet that we would update either maybe twice a year, not looking at putting a whole lot of effort in. Take what you've already did for Althea's request a while back, update that, and then we have the specific things we can point to that we're doing in there, and then also maybe including here's the revenue that comes in, and this goes to the school board, this goes to here, and it kind of just, most people don't really know how well, the way the chairman explained how the dollars come in, that half goes to the school, half goes here, to really see what dollars are left to go towards different improvements. And I think it would just be a good information piece for everybody to see. But I agree with the Avenue D comment. I remember what it was like before, and it's a pretty darn nice street today. Street lights, curb and gutter, I mean, it's landscaped nice. It's a very nice project they did down there, and that's something to try to strive for.
Welcome.
Hello, how you doing? My name is Crystal Rouse. 4465 26th Avenue is where I live at. There's other problems. The reason why we're talking about the beautification of Gifford, because what about these old pipes that have not been changed? People's pipes are busting outside their homes 3 months before the water department even come out there. Then they got to pay a higher water bill. This is what we're talking about. The park, fine. There's somewhere for the kids to play. But what happens when they ain't got no water in their home because they can't afford to pay the water bill because the old pipeline bust? And then when they got to go outside, they got to play in mud because there's no drainage there. That 41st retention pond does not benefit Gifford, because I was here in 2003 and I went to the county development meeting when they stated that that was for Grand Harbor. It does not benefit us. It produces mosquitoes in the area, and I, for one, am allergic to mosquitoes. So you're putting my life in danger. So what about that?
Well, ma'am, you just mentioned about the high water bill and responding 3 months for a water leak. If the bill is high, it's post the meter, and then it's the responsibility.
But the problem is
Excuse me,
not
ma'am.
with us. The
I'll be
problem
happy
is
to
not
respond.
inside our homes. The problem is with the drainage of the county.
No?
Yeah, it is, because it's their pipeline. It's not our pipeline. It's running to our homes. But it's an old pipe, an old iron pipe. There are 3 times I've observed in 3 different parts of Gifford, and especially over there down there where y'all talking about that landfill at, it took you 3 months to get out there. 3 months. Because that was not our problem. It was the county's problem. These people had higher water bills, low water pressure in their homes. Some people's water bills got cut off because they couldn't pay the bill, and you threw it on the people, and you did not take care of your responsibility. I have observed it not only at my home, as well as other elderly people who are in the community. I take it as an insult.
Well, ma'am,
Chairman, on this one,
you're apparently mixing 2
No, I'm not.
situations. Ma'am, I've waited patiently for you. Please allow me to at
Go
least
ahead.
respond to it. You've asked for that, and I want to deliver that to you.
Go ahead.
If you're talking about the bill being higher because of a leakage, if it's anywhere post the meter, it is the responsibility of the property owner, the homeowner. You may shake your head all you wish,
okay,
but
well-
that is the accurate statement.
Okay, well, let me
I give
explain
you
to you
fact.
that. Okay,
Mr.
one
Chairman?
more. Okay,
Yes.
go ahead.
I like sewer and water, so I'm happy to give you my card. If you come across a problem like that you think is the county's responsibility, you can give me a call. It's not far for me to get from here to there, but, you know, given how much I like the sewer and water, and I think that we ought to have a good sewer and water, I'm happy to help. I hadn't heard about this type of problems before.
Well,
We have isolated problems throughout the county, and almost every time we've gone and dealt with it in a pretty, generally speaking, satisfactory manner. So I'd be happy to give you like 2 or 3 of my cards right now.
Okay, no problem.
And be happy if I'm not in a meeting or something like that, to come out within hours on that, because
Okay. Well,
I
let
believe
me-
that's a government service which we ought to provide. Well, I believe we do, and if we're weak in any areas, I'd be happy to help.
Okay, no problem. But let me explain to you, Mr. Flesh, exactly what I'm speaking about.
Okay.
I'm going to demonstrate. From the property line where the pipe runs into the main part that distributes to the house, that affects multiple houses, 3 houses lost water pressure because the pipeline is right by the road. And it was not the responsibility of the property owner, because you say that so many feet of the property is county owned. So it was on the county's property, which is why I'm coming to you guys and expressing this to me. Now, I'm going to tell you the first area I observed it at, 26th Avenue, right there when you first come down, if you come down, right there on the property line. 3 months it rained. It was pouring out of the ground. You understand me? Pouring out of the ground at a very, very high rate. No one's meter was spinning out of control. It's just the water was pouring out of the ground at such a fast rate, you could go up there and catch it in a cup.
That's a whole different story.
And what I'm
right?
saying is that when the water department finally got there and the guys had to come there, they had to pull these big old long pipes and replace them. And the water pressure is not up to par right now. at my grandmother's house at 4465 26th Avenue, and she's paying a higher bill. And I don't appreciate that. Again, I observed it on 25th Avenue, around the area of 4215 25th Avenue. Again, that's the main line. It runs from where the area from 43rd Street is an old line, and it has not been fixed. It's an old iron pipe and done rusted. So the quality of our water is not there. And then you're talking about beautifying 45th Street. You need to work on these water lines. You need to work on these things such as putting drainage pipes in the areas, putting some kind of way that if that retention pond is going to be down there, we need pipes running to that retention pond so we can use it.
Did you state 4415 24th Avenue?
25th Avenue.
25th
Yeah,
Avenue?
4215, and then she stated 4465 26th Avenue, you know,
I have
looking.
one.
Right, and I also observed it again. Now I'm going to tell you the other place I observed it, pouring out of the ground, right where y'all got there. Y'all supposed to fix the road over there, a water pipe broke over there. I'm the one who called the water department all 3 times. I am the one who called the water department. So I'm just stating that, you know, we got these high water bills here, so it looks like it's an insult. Is this a way for you to get us out of the community by cutting our water off and making our homes inadequate to live in?
Ma'am, no, and again, your water bill is not going to be higher.
It was higher.
Wait, ma'am.
It went
Your
from-
water
it
bill
went
is
from
not
50
going to be high.
$45 to
Okay.
$69 a month.
Your water bill is not going to be higher if it's on this side of the meter.
It was
You're stating that it was on our side of the meter. So if it's on our side of the meter, it's not going to affect your water bill. That's
But-
simply stated.
I understand what you're saying, but
But I'm happy to look into this.
Okay, I noticed the increase, and if you don't mind, I don't mind having your direct number. I'll go get the old bills.
226-1493, and I'll be happy to give you a
We'll
card
look
as
at
well.
those.
Repeat that. Repeat it.
Ms. Scott, you have it. You use it regularly. 226-1493.
226-1493.
That's correct.
And then, okay, I can go get the old bill, and I'll show you prior to them fixing it what the bill was. It was $45 and some change. And then after they fixed it, it went up to $69. And I will show you that they charged it. They did the same thing at 4215 and the area of the people who live right there on the 43rd area where y'all supposed to fix that. They all had higher bills. All their bills went up by $20 or more. And I'm just stating it because it's a concern to me, because the people that y'all doing this to, they're all elderly people. Yes, they're either senior citizens or elderly, and it's not fair. And I'm only stating it here because it's a concern to me. I would not be so passionate about it as I speak about it. I wouldn't press so hard.
Thank you.
That's all I have for right now.
Ma'am, there are a couple of my cars with Leona. If you can just get them from her.
Okay. Is there any further discussion on the non-ad valorem budget? Commissioners, any proposed amendments?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Flesher.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt the tentative budget for the non-ad valorem dollar budgets for the special revenue funds for $20,869,607, other debt service fund, $988,000, the capital projects fund for $18,590,679, the enterprise funds for $45,098,027, and the internal service funds for $26,136,881.
Second?
Got a second motion from Commissioner Flesher with a second from Commissioner Solari. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion passes unanimously. Now we will announce the place and the time for the final budget hearing. Mr. Baird.
Yes, the 2015-16 final budget hearing will be at 5:01 p.m. Thursday, September 17th, 2015. It will be held here at the County Commissioner Chambers at 1801 27th Street in Vero Beach.
And we don't need a motion on that, correct? No, that's because that's already advertised. Is there any further business to be transacted this time? I'd like to say thank you very much to county staff on this one. And to our budget department, Office of Management and Budget, Jason and your staff, good job. And thank you to everybody that come down to express their concerns, Ms. Ross, both, and then Mr. Geiger, thank you for coming down. Appreciate you taking time to address your concerns. If there's no further business to be transacted this time, I now declare this meeting adjourned.